Hello class, so in this week we will have another new lesson which is types of writing a letter. So I know all of you know about how to write a letter. So this week we will only learn about formal versus informal letter. So what is the difference between formal and informal letter? So we will tackle the difference between the two kinds of letter. So please get your notebook and pen, and you should take note all the vocabularies that I am going to show on the screen. Are you with me? Okay. Informal letter is written for business or professional purposes. So it's very clear that formal letter is only for business or professional. Like for example, you are going to write only for your boss, the highest position, and also for the stranger that you don't know. And in a working place, like you're applying a job, you are in a company like that, so you are going to write a proper English, a proper vocabulary for the formal letter. And informal letter are written to friends and relatives for personal communication and uses a casual or an emotional tone. So in this case, informal letter are the words that you can express in the letter. Any words that you like to say, you can write any words. So another difference, formal letter is a serious letter, and whereas informal letter is like relax, chill, nothing serious. As I mentioned a while ago, as you can see, formal is for your boss, stranger, director, or in a working place. And in informal, so it's for your friends, classmates, parents, girlfriend, boyfriend, and two. So there are more differences, so you will not be confused. What's the difference between informal and formal? Okay, so informal, there is contractions. What is contractions? Like for example, didn't, can't. So as you can see, have apostrophe, didn't, can't. So informal, there is no contractions, like didn't into did not, can't into cannot, haven't, have not, wouldn't, would not. So that's the difference between informal and formal. No contractions for formal, and there's contractions in informal. Okay, let's move on to idioms. So in informal, there is an idiom. So what is idiom? I already translated it in Thai. Like for example, a thumbs up. But in formal, you cannot use idioms. Idioms it's a long word, but you are not allowed. It is avoided to write in formal letter. Like a thumbs up, it means good, excellent. So you can't use idioms for writing a formal letter. It's only used for informal. Okay, so next is imperatives. Imperatives are those sentences that start with a verb. So what is verb? Verb is an action word like run, talk, see, walk. Those are the verb. Like for example, look at the screen under imperatives. Send it soon. So that's the way of, if your friend tells you to, like your friend send you a parcel, pasado, then you write something on your letter and it says send it soon. So it's an informal way of saying saying that. But in formal letter, you can't say that word. You should be polite. Like a business letter, an order letter, it should be a formal way. So look at the example. You may send it at your earliest convenience. So very polite. As you can see, you can notice the word may, could, would, should. Those are the formal way of saying something in a formal letter. And more difference between informal and formal. Like for example, in informal, very, totally, really. So you can say that informal way. In informal, you can say very cool, totally hot. He's totally hot. So you can't say that in formal. Really sad. Like no, it's avoided. You can say that. Informal, you can say strongly. I strongly agree. I strongly recommend it. So that's the formal way of saying in that word. And next abbreviation. So example, TV. You can say that in formal way. In formal letter, you should write the whole word television, not TV. It's wrong. So it's only informal way, and the formal way is television, so no abbreviation. And the next one is exclamation point. So no exclamation point in formal way, in formal letter. It is avoided. It's not formal. So you can put a lot of exclamation mark in informal, but formal no. And the word a lot is informal. You can use many or much. Like for example, in informal, I have a lot of friends, I have a lot of money. But in formal way, you should say I have many friends, I have many money, much friend. So those are the differences between formal versus informal. And next is the body parts of the letter. So standard parts of the letter. So I get the example for the business letter. The first one is heading. Number 2, date. 3, inside address. 4, salutation. 5, body. 6, complementary clause. And the 7th is signature. So the first one is the heading. A heading shows where the letter comes from. If a letterhead stationery is not used, the address, not your name, is typed above the date 2 inches from the top. And the second one is date. 1T, date. Usually the date is typed written 2 to 6 lines below the last line of the letterhead. Date sequence preferred in America. So America style, like month, duan, day, 1T, and year, P. Like for example, March 6, 1998. So that's the way of writing the date. Or you should write the date first and the month, next the year. Okay, next is the inside address. This is the third part of the letter. The inside address should begin with the addressee's name, preceded by a courtesy and a professional title. It is written 2 spaces below the date and on the left hand margin. So write quasi, I don't know. The order of items is courtesy title, and then the name, executive or professional title. Like for example, Dr. Pramod Promnen, and their school director, Chanya School. So that is the example of the inside address. The fourth one is salutation. Salutation is a type 2 spaces below the inside address and 2 spaces above the body of the letter. So there are 2 types. For the formal And for the informal, so informal is like friendly. Okay, for men, sir, or in women, madam. Informal also, my dear sir, my dear madam. And less formal, dear sir, dear madam, my dear Mr. Khan, or my dear Mrs. Khan. And friendly, my dear Kalim, or my dear Manor, or its name only. So that's the salutation. And the fifth one is the body. So most letters are typed single space with two spaces between paragraphs after the salutation and before the complimentary clause. A short letter could be double spaced with additional blank line spaces before and after the date and within the signature area. One second page is used. Addressee name or page number and date are written at the top. So the sixth one, number 6, complimentary clause body. If the letter begins with a formal salutation, sir or dear sir, it will close with yours faithfully. It begins with personal name, dear Mr. Khan. It will close with yours sincerely, your truly or cordially. Informal closes as warm regards, best regards, wishes are also used. And 7 is the signature. Always type your name after the handwritten signature and the position in the firm. It is better to give courteous title like Mr., Miss, or etc. to avoid confusion. A letter should always be signed in ink. Very truly yours, like for example.